Hello everyone, welcome back to my leather crafting mini series for beginners. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to cut, glue, hand stitch and burnish leather for your projects. Hand stitching is the process where most of the people have a lot of questions. And that is the part where I was once stuck. I will tell you my story some other time, but for now I would like to know if you learned anything from my previous video. Please comment below. That is the way I learn. My name is Jamil and I have been leather crafting for almost 2 years. I'm a self-learned and now I have decided to help you. Leather crafting is easy to learn. More you practice, more you learn. So keep it going, keep it up, and never quit. And please use these videos as your reference. That's why I have divided this in chapters so you can jump to that chapter you want to learn more about. So guys, based on tools in my first episode, I will now teach you how to cut, glue, stitch and burnish edges. Before we start, I would like to point out that every process is a piece of art and requires your focus, attention and control over single process. By the time you will have all these qualities. Today's video is only based on scrap leather just for the training purpose. Now let's get started. I just want to mention that this video is not sponsored by any brand. So I'm doing this on my own initiative. All right. As per my first video, we talked about simple tools. Just to revise, we have a utility knife, and we have a scratch awl. We have edge builder. We have for burnishing edges. We have, of course, glue, and we have a mallet. Here we go, this one. I can, of course, just DM me if you are looking for where to buy this stuff. I can guide you on that. But let's get started with cutting. Cutting of leather. Normally, when you work on projects, you work with a template. So if you have a template, you put a template onto the leather and then you cut accordingly. But for this video, I have not any template, but I promise you next video we will build a project from scratch, meaning from design to end. So for this purpose you need a cutting mat. I'm using a cutting mat from Altera, which is a German company, but you can also use other which you can find in your local office appliance shop. So you need a ruler. I'm sorry if it's too much of reflection. What you need is basically, you can of course use the cutting mat. You can use these squares and lines to align your leather. I will show you several techniques. Use the squares and lines, and you can also, now I will teach you some of my techniques. You see the number 37 here. It could be anything. It could be 40, it could be 1, anything, but this is what I have available right now. So let's say we go to 30. I have a 30. 30 is basically, because this is centimeters, so 30 is centimeters. So you see the line of 30 centimeter, align it to the right side, and you have 30 on the left side, align it to the left side. And then you can either, there are two ways now, either you can use a scratch awl and scratch your leather, then you have a simple line, or you can use your ruler. And now this is very important. The thicker leather is, more difficult is it to cut the leather, because you need more power or more force. So use a sharp blade. Do not use the power. Hold it as a scalpel. And this is training make man perfect. So here you do a simple one cut and two cut, and on the third one it's free. Here you go. So this is basically a simple technique. If you want to do a freehand, you can of course do that. You have seen those round cuts. You can, by the time, invest in the round corners. You align it to edges and you have a round. There are several options. This one is a smaller one. I'm not sure of the number on this one. This is 15, it says. And just align it to the edges like this, and you cut it. Here we go. Now this is around. But let me teach you a very simple way of doing it. This is my spool of thread. It can be anything. It can be just a round box of candies. Align it to the edges like this, an edge on this side. Use your scratch awl and make a line like this. Now what you need to do is, you can go this way. This is the hard way, and the easiest way is to basically find a straight cut like this. Now you have a round one, and you can, of course, this is just for the training, so this is not a very accurate. Now this is the way to do it. And you can of course do with smaller, you can use a cork of something. I have a cork here. You can use this. I'm not sure this is worth it, but you can draw a line there. You can do you can use whatever you like. All right, this was the cutting part. Let's go over to the glue part. Now I have two. Before we go further, I want to, have you been using this one? Have you been doing woodworking or something? This is basically this is a ruler, but this is with a 90 degree. So what you do is make a 90 degree of leather, just to make sure that you have a straight corner like this. And we can use on this one as well, just to be sure that the edges comes. And now use your ruler, place it on the line you made. Where is my line? There. Place it on the line. Use this one and use simple technique. 1, 2, and it's free. And then you have a straight line. So if you go like this, this is straight, right? So we do it same here. There we go. Now if you check, the line. This is accurate 90 degree. So we can work on that. I think I have to zoom out a little bit. Okay, we can do the same on this. And this part. And now it is very important to follow the line, or else it will be not a straight cut. All right, this is straight as it is can be. All right, here we go. So align it on your cutting board, cutting mat, with lines, and then you have 90 degree. So we do now have two 90 degrees, and we will now glue them together. Now gluing is very simple. Gluing is very simple, but you need to do it correctly. So what we do is, I have a glue. Here is another tape. I normally buy either this one, which is 118 ml. Let me use another example here, just for the glue part. I cut open this one. Oh, this one is full of glue. Let me just open this one because this is glue. All right. And when I spread it on it, you see you get a much thicker glue on the leather. This is not what you want. What you want is thinner. So the thing is, transfer your glue from a bigger bottle to a smaller bottle. Why? Because you don't want to waste your glue. All right, so where is our straight cut? Now this is our straight cut, and this is our straight cut, right? So what we do is, very simply, you place glue on the right side here. You don't need much. Now there are some different opinions. You can either do it on the both leather, both pieces you want to stick together, but normally it is enough with doing it on the one leather. Now you need to spread it. Now this is the line you follow, like this. Now before it dries, you need to glue it together. So how we do it? We do it very simply. Start in one end and follow the line, and the one piece is smaller than the other one, so that is not so easy, but we will make it. Here we go. Now what you need to do now, there are different things you can do to make it stick very well to each other. You can use small clip. Be sure that you have leather on inside, because this is very easy to make. You buy simple paper clip, which you put leather into it. The reason is, when you clip it together, you will not make any marks here. If you don't use leather or any other stuff, you will leave some marks, and you don't want to do that. Alright, I have some big clips and I have small clips, different varieties of clips. So let it stick together for a couple of minutes and then you are ready for your next step. Okay, let's get on to it. We have waited a couple of minutes. What you see now is that some of the glue parts have become over the edges. Now what you need to do is very simply use a hammer and push it even more. You can do that, it is optional. What is happening now is basically when you press it even more, the glue is accessing your leather. So what we do here is very simple. Let me find simple sandpaper. You sand it. Now there are two purposes. One purpose is that when you sand with lower, I use P400, which is basically a wet paper. Use a wet paper. When you sand, the glue parts will fall out. And the second is to make fibers of leather in one direction. Now this is I will come back to this part, why this is important. All right, so we have straight cut and we have glue it together. What we need to do is to mark it for the stitching line. There are several options, but in my previous video I told that I like the French one, but for the training purpose I can show you what I have. Several options. I have 3.85 and please, you find all the charts on internet. Just Google which thread is best suitable for 3.85 and so on. I have also 3.85. I have several. I have 4, which is simple holes. We can use this today. I have also 3.0, which is very good in watch straps. For the wallets, I use 3.85. There are several options in the market. So, okay. Now, what we need to do is to mark a line. This is a simple thing you get from the local office office appliance store. How we do that is very simple. Normally, line should be 2 millimeter, 2 mm from the edge, or 3 mm from the edge. I normally use 3 mm. I used to use 2 mm, but I realized that the thinner leather is, difficult is it to punch 2 mm from the leather. So 3 mm is the perfect. Alright, so how we do that is we find our ruler. You have 1 mm, 2 mm, and 3 mm. So this one is settled on 3 mm. So what we do now is very simply starting from the top and make sure the right one is on the edge and you make a straight line. Make several lines to make those lines clear, because when you will punch these, sometime these lines, the line you put here is not so visible because you work with lights and so on. So so make it darker, but not cut the leather. All right. So I just want to tell you that a cutting mat is basically best for all things you do regarding cutting. But if you want to punch, for the punch you need a punching board. Now this one, particularly this one, is made in Japan by Oka factory. This one is probably expensive option for beginners, but for beginners I can recommend something else, maybe a simple punching board like this one. You can get it from your where you get the kitchen warehouse, kitchenwares and so on. So but this one is, I'm very satisfied with this one. This comes in various of sizes. You have the smaller one, which is very small, and then you have the half of this one. And if you're thinking that you are going to continue with leather crafting, I will strongly recommend this one. I'm not sure what material they're using, but you can use the both sides. And the best part is you see all these punchings into it, but that will not come into your leather piece from the other side. All right. For the punching, this one is, there's a simple rule. Your line goes from the one end to the other. So normally you would think your first pin should go in the end. Let me zoom in a little bit, and we need to focus. There we go. So you see it now. So your first one need to go right there, and the second one, and so on. Now the rule here is very simple. You start with, and yes, of course you need a mallet like this one, which is heavier, and this one is lighter, but you need something heavy. And thicker your leather is, more force you will need. Now I will share some tip here. The first tip is that your first pin should be in the end of where you want to start, and just follow the line. And the second tip is hold it straight. You see, hold it straight, not this way, not that way, hold it straight. Now let's do the first punching, and it goes like this. And now how to see if it's true, you feel, well, with my cutting board or the punching board, sorry, you feel a little bit that it's the pricking iron or the chisel is and there's another thing. When you search on internet, you'll find some pricking irons and some chisels and so on. The thing is that all these terms goes for each other now. In the old days, where the pricking iron was meant to prick, make marks, and chisel was made for making holes. But today Everything goes in the same. All right, so this is through, and we take this out. Now be careful that you don't do it at once. All right, this one is very clear. And how to do the next? You just follow the last hole. You see that? You follow the last hole. Put the first one in there and just follow the line. Like this. And this is through. Now, this is a very simple one. This is hole 1. Okay, number 4. And this is the French iron. You'll see the beauty of it. The beauty is put it on the line, hold it straight, and here we go. It's true. You see, this is, well, my opinion, this is more beautiful. But in the beginning, just for newcomers, new beginners, this one is totally fine. But when you start making your own products, you need to consider the French. I believe this is more prettier and more beautiful. All right, this is round hole. 4 means there is 4 millimeter between the pins. Okay, and this is French. This is 3.85, so 3.85 mm between those and the equal. Now I have one more, which is from Pimax, Turkish brand. This is golden, and this one is this is 4 mm, so basically 4 mm between the holes. Let's try this one. This one is diamond, and you put your like this, and this is true. This is a little bit harder, so here you need to be a little bit more careful with your leather, and this goes like this. Now you have round 4 mm, 3.85 French, and 4 mm diamond. Now the next part is stitching. Stitching is a piece of art. Hand stitching is fun, and there are therapeutical whatever you say, there's a therapy. Whatever you work with your hand, your brain is always connected. So for this project, now let me give you a very quick tip. If your project is totally this side, what you need to do is, in leather, we stitch with 2 needles. Now I have 0.33 mm of thread. I'm using this, and this goes, you need some extra space for the needle on the both side. So your project goes this way, and some extra space like this. This is 1, and you need to measure 2 because you need 2 needles. So this is 2, okay, and then we cut it with a scissor. Now the special thing about this one is, what I mentioned is in my previous video, is that you need polyester thread. Polyester is basically the thread you use in leather projects. You can use there is another one you can use, but I prefer polyester. And the best thing is that if your thread is not waxed, then you need to wax it. You need a beeswax. Sorry for my English. No, this is beeswax. You need that. But beeswax, it is better to buy a thread which is beeswaxed when you buy it. When we stitch leather, we use 2 needles, and you can find all the charts for which needle size you need for which thread. I'm using number 4 from John James, but you can basically ask your local shop for which one to use. So for the leather part, you need 2 needles, as I told you, and your project must have 2 length, because you will be stitching from this side and from this side. So 2 length plus a little bit more extra if your thread breaks, or it shouldn't, but it can, and you need some extra space for the needle. For the threading part in the needle, you need, now look closely, let me see, yes, you need to thread, and this is, you have a thread inside the needle, and you have to find the middle, wherever, middle or anything, and you thread it between this, and here we have the long part. You will put, let me see if the camera can focus here. Let me zoom out a little bit. There we go. And the long part is when you draw it back, so you have a lock. Now for larger projects like sewing a bag, or if you have anything else, or if you are afraid of the thread can break, you can do it twice. I will not do it for this purpose. And so when you hand stitch, this is a very easy, the second and the first, they have to be let me see if the camera can focus here. Can you see it? Yes. You go all the way in there like this, and you have to be sure that all parts are equal. Okay, and then put your left finger and hold it like this, and thread this one, the right one, onto between the hole like this. So when you have done this, you can tighten it. Not too hard, but that is the way. So for the next stitch, you don't need to hold it, but you can thread it through it, and then you have to hold it like this, and you take the first one through the needle, no, sorry, the hole, and out, and then you can do a little hard. So once more, through. Now this is your front side, So when you hold the front side, you see on the back side I'm holding the thread, and this one goes in the front, and you tighten it up. Okay, that is the simple way to do it. I will tell more about stitching in my next video. So what we do now is very simple. We need to end it. We cut the thread like this, and now you have basically this is a closing stitch. So what we do now is to burn it. Very simple. You burn it to the end and you press it. So now you have a closed stitch. So with this one, what we basically do now is very simple. We use a hammer. Now what does a hammer do? The hammer, when you press it like this, you will press all the stitches on the front and on the back. Alright, what now? We have done the cutting, we have done the gluing and the stitching. So the next part is burnishing the edges, which is our next tool, which is edge beveler. What we do before we do the edging or the beveling, we need sandpaper. Let me find a sandpaper. And what you do is, I can do the halfway because then you understand what is the difference. So what we do is you do it one way. Why you do that? You do that to smooth the leather or smooth the edge. So here we go, and here we go. Right, so next step is the edge beveling, which is basically you edge it like this, hold it on like that on the both sides. Now you have edged both sides. So what we do now is very simple. We need a burnishing cream. Now the tip is, this is vegetable tan leather. If you don't have the burnishing cream, you can use water, simply water. But if you are working on chrome tan, you cannot use water. Then you have to use a burnishing cream. And the burnishing cream I recommend is Tokonol. Tokonol is basically also Japanese. I'm not sure the ingredients, but this one is non-toxic. And you can of course use your finger if you want to. I don't like to use my finger, so I use a brush like this one. Don't worry about the color, this is just from the leather and it has dried up. Alright, so what we do is very simple. You take the burnishing cream and put it on the edges like this. And now for the beginners, our tool here, this is for burnishing the edges. And now what you basically do, you have different tracks according to how thick your leather or project is. Start with which is flat, more flat one. You can go to the thinnest one and you burnish like this one, so you get a smooth edge. And now come the professional tip. After you have done this, you can feel it. Basically you can feel it, and you can feel it where you have sanded and where you don't have. All right, this was what I had to share with you this time. Basically, I could make more episodes around this, but I decided to rather make one episode and divide it in chapters. But please use this video as a reference, and comment below if there is anything you want to or need more help with. There are communities you can ask, and also I have an Instagram. It's a just a maker. So if you just DM me if you need anything, I will try to help you in the best way. But please use this video as a reference, divided in chapters so you can jump back and forth. So that's all from me. You have a really good day. We talk in next video, and the next video or the next episode, which is the episode 3, will be where we will design a product, and we will do all from the scratch, from the start to the end. So be prepared, get some training. So episode 3 will help you a lot. All right, have a nice day. Goodbye.